What a do, CFC crew. We're here with another live stream today. Today, bringing a review, preview, and transfer news. So we've got a lot to talk about today. Let's get into today's stream. And we're back with another live stream, guys. After the Malmo win and the Norwich preview, with some little transfer news that we're going to be talking today. And we have a special guest of Prime in the house. What to do, Prime? How are you today, mate?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you guys for having me on, Matt and Maya. Looking forward to talking Chelsea.
Yeah, that's what we do here. We always talk Chelsea on this channel. And obviously the co-host, Amir. Amir, how are you doing today?
Yeah, pretty good. Like he said, we're just looking forward to talking about Chelsea and a pretty good performance against Malmo. So a lot to talk about, and hopefully, we can replicate that against Norwich, who've just been awful this season so far in the Premier League.
Yeah, we'll get straight into it. And you say awful in the Premier League, and we're top of the top of the table. So imagine when we're in our prime. But now we'll get into Malmo first, just straight away. So obviously, if you guys don't know, Chelsea 4, Malmo 0. We absolutely destroyed them. It was a fun game to watch. A 4-0. We haven't seen that in quite a while. Obviously, Lukaku on the score sheet. It was Havertz, Christensen's first goal. Who are the other two?
And Jorginho scored 2 from the spot, I think.
The penalty. Yep.
Ballon d'Or winner.
The Ballon d'Or winner, Jorginho. Oh my god, we love to see that. But yeah, no, we'll get into that. Also, it was a 6 a.m. game for me. I was half asleep that game. We didn't do the watch along, so I was in bed sleeping out. I've forgotten half the game already, but we'll see what we can remember, jog the memory up. But we'll start with Prime. 4-0 UCL. How do you feel about that win? Prime.
All right, something was playing.
Good.
The Malmo game. Standard. Like I was predicting 3-4-0, but I don't know. I didn't really say it with confidence because I was worried we have another problem with creativity. But yeah, a good performance. Cho came on and played well, which is what I want for him to take his opportunities. Havertz played well, false 9, as we all know he can do. It's a shame with the injuries of Lukaku and Werner, but we've got the squad that the Chelsea fans we say we've got this amazing squad. 2 injuries shouldn't be the end of our season, So
no, I agree. I mean, as you said, we've got Havertz in that position, and he did play that role. Just quickly, I forgot to say big up to Jimmy and Coachella in the chat as well. I'll go back to Prime as well. From that lineup that we saw, the starting 11. Were you a bit surprised that we saw our full team on against Malmo?
No, in theory, right? We should have beaten Juventus and Zenit, and then go into this game where we can rotate players and rest because it's Malmo. But based on how the season has gone, we lost to Juventus, struggled against Zenit, and we haven't been the best going forward. This was looked at, from my point of view, and obviously Tuchel's, as a confidence game. Play Lukaku, maybe he bags 2 or bags a hat-trick or something, play Werner, maybe he gets a goal, and hopefully things just start clicking. And you can take that going forward against Norwich and the rest of the next 3 or 4 games, which are quite easy in theory for us. So I back what Tuchel did. I'm not going to say he got it wrong because 2 injuries to 2 important players, because that's what I would have done the same thing. And so and injuries are like a bit of a fluke thing. They can happen to anyone. So I back it.
Go on. Go finish off.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to say I back it, and the injuries are not even that bad, to be fair, as well, in terms of how long they're going to be out for. So it's not, in my point of view, it's not a problem. Maybe other Chelsea fans feel different, to be fair, but
yeah, no, I mean, I was very, very surprised with that lineup. I mean, I definitely thought Lukaku would play. I mean, because obviously he needs that confidence just probably for the rest of the team. I was very surprised even Mendy in goals there. But Amir, before we get into that, we've got 8 people watching, guys. 6 now. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe, and yeah, comment below. But Amir, on to you now. What was that Malmo performance in your perspective? Good, bad? What do we need to work on? Like, what's happening there?
I think it was really good performance, but I honestly thought that we would rotate slightly more. I mean, I was pretty surprised that Mendy played. To be honest, I thought Kepa would get the game. Especially considering Kepa started against Zenit as well, right? So I was really surprised that he didn't start this one. But like Prime said, we needed the confidence boost, right? And although I mean we are technically on the top of the league, but we weren't going so great in the Champions League. I think we won the first game 1-0 and then lost away to Juventus. So I think we needed that win and. Malmo, of course, they've been awful this season so far in the UCL. I don't think they've scored a single goal and they've lost all their games. So I think it was a bit of a confidence game, and 4-0, although it does seem like a pretty good scoreline, and we did deserve it. I mean, we played really well, but at the same time, 2 penalties, and the main players didn't pack the goals. That was slightly an issue, I feel. But like Prime said, right, Lukaku and Werner injuries, they weren't because of fatigue or something. It was just an incident which happened on the pitch. So I don't think you can blame Tuchel for that. But all in all, 4-0 win, pretty good performance. Hopefully we get to see some different faces in attack. I'm looking at Hudson-Odoi. I think he did really well since coming on. Havertz got a goal as well. So I'm looking forward to their duo. I think it's an underrated duo. Every time they're on the pitch together, they always get each other so well. And some of our best performances under Thomas Tuchel have come when Havertz and Hudson-Odoi have combined. So I think the only 2 times, in fact, the first one was Palace away when we won 4-1, and this is only the second time that we've scored 4 goals in a game under Tuchel. So I think, and both the games that Havertz and Hudson-Odoi link up was there. So hopefully we see that against Norwich. But yeah, I'm pretty content with that victory. To be fair, we needed that, and we got it, and hopefully we can build on from here. And by the time we face Juventus away, we could have more or less secured our position into the knockouts.
Yeah, I mean, this was a massive confidence boost for. And as I said, I think because we've got 3 more games to go, we've got a whole another round, 1 or 2 more, and we can easily, obviously make the rounds like we should be expecting already. I'll go quickly back to Amir, and then we'll go back to Prime there. Amir, we said back in August. I do remember us saying back in August, we said if Lukaku or Werner got injured, Havertz will play up front. We spoke a little bit about Havertz there, but are you upset that he's starting, or because we haven't really seen how much Lukaku's out for? Yeah, probably 3 weeks minimum at this rate. So, do you want to see Havertz just play that striker role for the next 3 weeks?
Yeah, I think he would be the most obvious choice, at least in my opinion. I don't think anyone else can play that role. And even when Tuchel first came in, although the front 3 was usually Havertz, Werner, and Mount, and Werner would have been the more obvious striker target, but it did seem like Havertz was the more central player every time whenever Thomas Tuchel played the front 3. So I think Havertz is the more likely, the most likely candidate rather to be to start in that striker role. So yep, I'd be more than happy to give him a few minutes, and hopefully he kicks off his season, because he had a very strong finish to the season for both club as well as country. I mean, he was Germany's best player in the Euros, right? So I think he had a very strong finish to the season, but he's not been able to carry that into this season. So I'm hoping that once he gets a run of games and hopefully, bag a couple of goals, get the pressure off your shoulders, start playing well, and then maybe we can finally see his best once again. Because, I mean, I remember saying that, both of us, in fact, we were saying earlier on the season, this has to be the season that Havertz explodes, right? He has won betting in season. He showed his true class towards the end of last season. So this season, he has to explode. Hopefully, these few games are the start of something. And, if he can build up his confidence and start playing well again, then I don't see why he can't make himself a first-team player.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, as we said it like, I mean, we said in August, like if he plays or like they get injured, Havertz will play, and we'll go on to Prime there about that. Same question from as I said, Amir. Havertz at the striker role. Are you happy, or like what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, his natural position is a striker or false 9. So
9.5. That's what Tuchel says.
9 point. Honestly, I don't know what Havertz is like. I didn't watch him in the Bundesliga, and it came to Chelsea. last season, let's be honest with ourselves. He didn't have the best of seasons considering the whole hype and praise about him, and he hasn't started this season off the best either. But I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because he's played out of position. So signing Lukaku, is that a hindrance to him now? Because he's going to have to play right attacking mid or right forward, whatever that thing is. Or maybe it's something that Tuchel himself has to try and figure out how to get them both in together. But I think now having Lukaku out for 6 weeks or 2 weeks, whatever it is, allows Havertz to go on a bit of a run and just flourish in there with Mount and probably with Cho, maybe Ziyech, and players can just start clicking into form, because that's what's missing. Lukaku and Werner, you could arguably say they're on form so far this season, but everyone else isn't in their forward line, which is annoying because we need to create for them.
Yeah, and just one point about that Lukaku as well. This debate's been everywhere. Even rival fans talking about it. I'll go back to Prime on this one about Lukaku. Is Lukaku off form, or is it the other boys who aren't giving him that creativity? Because he was here just to bring in to score goals. So what's the problem with Lukaku? Is he just off form, or is it just the other boys?
They're not creating for him. Like when you look at him so far this season, his debut against Arsenal, he scored with his first chance, and then after that, I only remember him he scored on it with his first chance, and then I think 5 minutes after that, he had another chance where he was a bit selfish with. He probably could have played someone in, but I understand why he tried to take it. Sorry, I can't speak this morning. I understand why he tried to take it, and then I don't think he got another chance from that in that game. Maybe he got one more chance. Then played against Aston Villa, he only got 2 chances and only scored, he scored 2 goals. He only got 2 chances. That shouldn't be happening. We paid 100 mil for him. Why are we only creating 2 chances against Aston Villa? Against Zenit, again, same thing. I only remember him getting 1 chance, and he scored from that. Against Juventus, I know people say he missed that sitter or whatever, but again, how many chances did he get against Juventus? Against City, people say he played bad. As a team, we all played bad. Against Spurs, he didn't get much service, but he should have got 2 assists from that game. Werner should have scored arguably one of them. We're not creating for this guy. And he's I love Lukaku, but he's not Benzema or Lewandowski or even Kane prior to this season, where they're going to score, 1 in 2 or 1 in 3. You need to create a lot of chances for him, but he's going to score if you create those chances, which we're not doing. Conte came out after the Juventus game and said, Chelsea haven't figured out how to play with Lukaku yet. And once we do and it clicks, we'll be unbeatable. And that is true. Because I know how great this guy is, but we're not creating for him. And now he's becoming a scapegoat. Same with last season with Werner. And I know Werner missed, the chances he missed were embarrassing to look at in terms of the compilation. But people were scapegoating Werner, but not looking at the fact that we weren't creating properly for him. And we're having the same problem now with Lukaku, and that's the annoying thing, because Lukaku will probably still get 20 goals or something this season, but if we're not creating enough, how are we going to win the league? And also, everyone else needs to chip in with goals as well, because I know our defense, everyone's got a goal so far this season or one more, but that to me is kind of embarrassing, because Havertz only has he has 2 now. I don't think Mount has a goal this season. Cho doesn't have a goal this season. Werner has, I think, 2, but he's now injured. Everyone else needs to start stepping up, because we can't just rely on Lukaku, because as we've just seen at this little mini patch, if he's not getting goals because we're not creating for him, who else is going to step up? And I don't want to go. I don't want to go through a whole season just our defense scoring. That. That's not going to help, I don't think. But yeah, I don't know. But do you guys disagree?
No, I 100% agree, because we had the exact same season last year, even with Kozuma. Kozuma was our leading goal scorer for nearly half that season. He needs to get that creativity, Lukaku. If we brought in someone like, Haaland, for example, he's that person where you don't really need to give creativity. He can just get the ball and dribble down the line, but that's not Lukaku. He's not a really creator. That's a good word for creator. He's not a creator. Mason Mount, Havertz, Werner, they all need to step up. And Werner was kind of stepping up. He was starting to develop there. But as you said, every time Lukaku gets the ball, he scores. I think the last time we saw was that miss was that. I think it was Juventus when it went over the bar in that last, and then he was offside anyway. I think that's a really last time we've seen a massive miss from Lukaku. So when he gets the ball, he does score. But Amir, what are your thoughts on that? Is it the team or is it Lukaku?
I think it's the team, honestly. I think Lukaku actually missed a chance against Brentford as well, if I'm not wrong, recently, but that was offside too, so it wouldn't have counted. But I mean, it was a bit of a shocking miss. But, with Lukaku, he's used to being fed so many chances, especially with Inter Milan in this area. Right? This area is a much more open, the defenses are much more open. So they did create a lot of chances for him, which is not happening at Chelsea this season. And I don't blame Lukaku, to be honest. And it doesn't look like he's dropping or something either, right? He still seems motivated and he knows that the goals, the chances are going to come. We just have to click in. And I don't think any of our attackers, bar him, have been in good form this season, unfortunately. So there's no one for him, to build a relationship with on the pitch, right?
Yeah.
There has to be someone who you can bounce off of, or, you can make those quick 1-2 passes and get into space. There's no one that he's been able to develop that mental connection with because they've all been so poor. So I think, once everyone's back, once everyone comes back, once, all our players come back, for some reason this season, I still haven't seen our, strongest lineup put out. There's always someone or the other missing out. So once we see that strongest lineup and once, everyone starts playing well together, then honestly, the goals will come. We just have to be patient and we have to be willing to take more risks. I think, the system wise as well. Thomas Tuchel hinted at it too in the pre-match Malmo game. He said, we might be looking to make a few changes to the system in order to for it to become more, to allow more creativity, basically, because it's such a rigid system. We don't create too many chances this season. We create a lot of half chances, but not full-fledged chances, right? So I think we have to figure out a way to sort of create those full-fledged chances, and hopefully Lukaku can build a relationship with one of the other, any of the attackers at this point, honestly. And once that happens, I think the goals will come. We just have to be patient. I still think he can hit the 20-goal mark this season. I mean, in all competitions, I can easily see him hitting that target. So let's see.
Yeah, I think with, I think Tuchel said this last season. I can't remember before what game. I think it was a presser or something. He said, in this system that we have, even though it's rigid in terms of how we defend and keeping the ball or whatever, in the final third, it's up to our forwards. Yeah, it's up to our attack to come up with. I think he said, come up with these solutions. And if they're not doing that, I don't think there's much Tuchel can do. And that's because, again, the annoying thing is because they're not on form, and also because they're young, so there's going to be fluctuations in, they'll have a great game and they'll have a poor game. That's the annoying thing with young players. That's part of why in the summer I wanted to bring in an experienced attacker alongside a striker or in place of a striker, because they would have helped with our creativity problems, and unfortunately now we don't have that. But and also, so the Chelsea fans who are saying that, Lukaku should adapt or he's not making certain runs or whatever. Look, when you spend 100 mil on a striker or an attacking midfielder or whatever, you play exactly to their strengths. I'm not hearing this thing off. He should adapt. We should adapt to him. There's a reason why we spent this money. Like the same with United. I know Ronaldo didn't cost 100 mil this summer, but he is, it's Ronaldo. United bought him in. And now I'm hearing excuses of, he's probably not our, he probably doesn't fit into our team, or, he doesn't press from the front or whatever. It's Ronaldo, adapt to his strengths. Lukaku, adapt to his strengths. I saw this example, Mesut Ozil at Arsenal. He's probably the best 10 of his generation in the past 10 years, but they didn't build around him. Real Madrid did. They protected his weaknesses and built to his strengths, and they excelled. Do the same thing with Lukaku. Inter built to his strengths and he excelled. We should be doing that. And we can't really do that if some of these players are just not on form, and hopefully they click into form with him being injured. But the only downside I can possibly see is they'll get used to playing with a false nine, that when he comes back, that's going to disrupt things again, which I don't know if that's me overthinking things, but that's something I could see happening, which is annoying.
Yeah. Yep. And also quickly, if I could chip in as well, there's such a massive difference when you watch Lukaku play for Belgium and when he plays for Chelsea. Although on paper it's the 3-4-3 system, right? It's basically the same thing. We play the same way, but there's such a massive difference in the way he plays for club and country, just with his movement, just everything. So I think it's up to everyone to build a chemistry with him. Honestly, that's all we can hope for, and hope that he ends up bagging a lot of goals because that's what we signed him for.
Yeah, we need him to get double digits at least. I mean, he's only on a couple now, but hopefully from this, when he gets back from this injury, and we see Pulisic, another main player who hasn't even come in with him yet. And then, but we'll get into Pulisic in a second. We'll just read some of these chats from here. It says from Anka saying, like Tuka said, they're working together to improve playing with the Lukaku, but the guy has too many games like Mount, so didn't run channels lately, in my opinion. And then Shakti comes here saying, we don't need Haaland with that money. Buy a ball playing defender with and a class winger like Chiesa and Lukaku will be firing the goal. And then he agrees. Get Broja. Yeah, good season. Big up.
Yeah.
I don't know who Brian is. Pulisic is the main man. Is the main miss. I can see him being better than Lautaro if he applies himself. Well, that's something we have to see when he comes back, and we need him to score 20 goals in the league. I'll go back to this point here about we don't need Lukaku and we can buy this money with Chiesa and another defender. So we're going to transfers now. Before we get into the Haaland kind of conception around here, who does Chelsea need to strengthening? I feel like we were speaking this, I think, with the Mia, we were saying like there's like 9 positions where Chelsea can strengthen, and we're still top of the league. So what with Prime first? Like Prime, this guy's suggesting Chiesa and a ball playing defender. Would you go for Haaland, or would you go for someone like a ball playing defender and a class winger like Chiesa?
I don't get this. Like Chelsea fans love Haaland too much, man. Like if we didn't buy Lukaku, say I don't know, say we bought like Grealish or Sancho instead, or if we had bought someone like Danny Ings, someone who can, he can do a job for a season or two, but he's going to be a backup eventually when we get a main guy, or if we'd kept Giroud, then yeah, I'd be saying try and go back in for Haaland, or if we don't get him, maybe buy Kane or buy Lukaku if he's still there. But we've got a striker now. We spent 100 million on him. What are we going to do? Spend 150 or something on, or no, he'll probably have a release clause by then. Spend whatever it is on Haaland, plus the astronomical wages he's going to have, plus the percentage fee. Yeah, like that's why we didn't buy him in the summer. I get people love him and whatever, but we don't need him. Like build, because he's going to stay here for 2-3 years and then leave, and that's probably going to be near the time Lukaku's going to be like finished, I guess, as well. So what's the point of doing that? It's going to hinder the team. Like go buy maybe a center back. We definitely need a creative player in this team. Like I like Chiesa, but he's also young as well, and he's going to have inconsistencies, and we don't need that when we already have a young attack with inconsistencies. It's not going to mesh well, because if he has a season where he has to adapt, and people love Chiesa because he's a maverick and he'll like dribble past players and stuff like that and just hit shots on goal, but he also misses a lot as well. Like his stats aren't overly amazing. They're good. They're not overly amazing. So if he comes to the league and he's missing, 15, 16, whatever chances, like Werner did last season, people are going to get on his back. So like, I don't know, what do people want? I would, like, I don't know. Like, is there an experienced top quality attacker out there right now? Like, again, we probably should have tried to get Sancho. He's a Chelsea fan. Maybe he would have come, or maybe try to push for Grealish. I like Leroy Sané, but he's having a really good season now. I doubt he's going to leave. Ziyech should be the guy, because Ziyech was meant to come in, this experienced player, this wizard. I was one of the few people who didn't want him at all. From the few games I've seen of him, he hasn't impressed me. Like, we played against him twice in the Champions League. he didn't. I know he scored and got like 2 assists or something, but he didn't impress me at all. He didn't do anything too brilliant. He only scored a wonder goal against Kepa. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we just have to suffer for a year or two with these guys and wait until they start clicking in terms of they find that consistent level. Like, maybe that's what we have to do, which is the annoying part. But I don't know.
I mean, I think
I can't think of a solution because there's no one out there that we can bring in.
No, there is no one we can bring in. That's what I'm saying. I think where were you when I was saying the exact same thing about Chiesa? Chiesa, he has 2 good games. He gets like 4 on top. Takes on players. That's what people like him. But when you look at his stats and his goals and assists, like for a Serie A, that's average. 9 goals, 9 assists. I'll say that's average. You should be getting them. And when you're playing with Ronaldo, yes, you should be getting that. But besides that, I think we have a lot of fantastic players in our team. Like when on paper, they're absolutely fantastic. If Ziyech hits that spark, I've been saying he can come back into this. But from this recent headache he had leaving him out, like I don't know what that was. That was very, very stupid how he had that. But I think we've got the players now for an attacking sort of mind. Like even though attacking is our worst kind of position, we have the players. We just need to now get him a spark. Like, there's no one I feel like who can come in and change our game and our style. Like someone like I use this example, like Bruno Fernandes for United. He came and he changed United. There's no one who can come into Chelsea and change it from that attacking mindset. But Amir, we always speak about the transfers. Who to come in, who to come out, who to focus on. If you want to give recap of what you say, who to bring in, if we bring in someone next season.
It has to be a DM, and I'm not saying Rice, but I'm even Tchouaméni. I'm a massive fan of Tchouaméni. I was advocating for Tchouaméni long before people even knew how to pronounce his name, honestly. So I love that guy, and there are a lot of other options out there, and that is one position which we should be concentrating on, because right now none of our midfielders can play lone DM, right? And that is a bit of an issue. I know Loftus-Cheek has sort of been trying out the deepest midfielder role, but I still don't think he has the defensive awareness to pull off the lone midfield role, especially with the back four. So I think if we do somehow manage to get a DM, right, I think that solves a lot of problems, because that allows us to move Mount into midfield, which I still think that Mount's best position is as one of the eights in a 4-3-3. That's where he excelled under Lampard last season as well. Honestly, that's where Mount's best position, in my opinion, is, and that allows us to play with a more fluid attack up front. And I think that would open up a lot more avenues. And like both of you said, I don't see anyone out there in the market, especially an experienced winger or whatever, to come in and help us. I still think that we've got to wait and hope that Werner, Havertz, Pulisic, and Hudson-Odoi, or at least 2 of these guys, find their feet and hit their start hitting their peak, or start getting on that upward trajectory and not the inconsistent trajectory that they're on at the moment. And once that happens, I think we'll be we can see a much more fluent sort of fluid attack, I would say, for Chelsea. But until then, I can't see us signing anyone. If anything, I think Ziyech is probably going to be on his way out of the club either this January or next summer, especially if he doesn't sort himself out soon. But I don't see us signing a replacement for him. And honestly, Hudson-Odoi is right there. He shouldn't be considered a right wing back. I know that he can put a shift there too, but his best position is still up front, and hopefully he gets those minutes instead. But let's see. That's just my opinion purely. I'm not saying that we should be ditching the system entirely, but I'm just saying moving Mount to midfield enables another attacking avenue up front, which I think will be beneficial for us. But that's just my 2 cents.
I think I
think there's a
sound like you want to say something.
I think there's. Wait, sorry, am I lagging?
Yeah, it's lagging so. A bit. Yeah, I think you're back now.
Is it your end?
No, you're lagging.
Yeah, sorry. I think the what you're saying about we don't have players who can play. Okay, I think the.
You're delayed a bit.
It's all good now. I think it's all good now.
Let me try and fix it. I don't know what the issue is. Hold on one sec. Wait, hold on. What?
Yep. Yeah, he's just fixing it. We always had that delay on StreamYard rubbish glitch where like they're a bit delayed and they're a bit thin. But yeah, as you said, like 4-3-3. I think Mount plays at number 8 role. I think we could play him in that best position, because right now he's not in form like a majority of the players, and we could possibly just say because he's out of form. Just like the same as Hudson-Odoi is when he plays that right wing right wing back position. But I think Prime's back. Yeah, no, it's all good now.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you. I think what you're saying, we do have players that can play long DM. I think. Well, we only have one in the.
Exactly.
Like, I think Ruben, his best position is not playing deep, because in the few times he has played this season, he hasn't controlled the game the way Jorginho has. He's picked up the ball and driven it from deep, which is all well and good. But we've seen in those few games that we've lost the midfield battle at times as the game has gone on, because Jorginho hasn't came on because he's had to rest because he's played so many games. I think switching to a 4-3-3, there's a reason why we haven't. And part of me last season thought it was because our defense was not good enough. Now I'm thinking it's because our attack is not good enough to play a 4-3-3 or like a 4-2-3-1. Like, I heard someone say last week on one of the Chelsea shows around here on YouTube that just play a 4-2-3-1 and flood it with as many attackers as possible, and we'll flourish. Like, that doesn't make sense. If no one's on form, playing as much of our off form players as possible is not going to work well. Like, again, it's an annoying thing, but it's like, what, I don't know. I don't mind playing this back three, by the way, or back five. It's solid, it works, and as we all know, especially Chelsea fans, the defense is what will win us titles, which is fine. And I don't have a problem not scoring 4 or 5 per game like Liverpool and City do, because I know they will also concede 3, 4, 5 a game, which will hinder them. It won't hinder us. But this creativity thing is going to be an issue. And if these players want to have Chelsea careers, like we know Ziyech is probably out the door soon. If Werner or Callum, whatever, if Havertz, if these guys want to be Chelsea players and have Chelsea careers, they need to start kicking on, because as we all know as Chelsea fans, if you're not playing well, you don't last. So
yeah, I think majority of it is our attack. And I mean, you can go to any Chelsea fan and not know it's our attack, because our defense 100% is the best defense in the league, and obviously the stats prove that as well. But yeah, I feel like, and also when we're thinking that we still need to improve our defense for the long term, like bringing in a Koundé and some, meaning that we still need to work on it for the long term, a future ahead of us. But it's just, the main thing is our attack. You go to a Real fan and say we've got Werner, Havertz, Ziyech, all these players, but we're still not, finding our gap. We're still saying that we're bad in the attack, but we won the Champions League and we're top of the league. So there is something still in these players. Or if there wasn't, we wouldn't have won the Champions League. We still wouldn't be first. So there's something still in them. And with that midfielder, I mean, like, Loftus-Cheek has really proven a lot of people wrong. Even me, he's proven me wrong a lot. So it's good to see him there. I think Saul played for like 30 minutes against Malmo. I don't think I ever saw him touch the ball, really. I mean, so possibly we see him again.
Like someone on Twitter just said that he forgot that Saul even came on in that match. Like, he didn't notice him at all. I mean, that's unfortunate.
But there was also, when Lukaku came off, Mount was very, very quiet for about 20, 30 minutes. I think until Saul came on, and then we saw a bit of Mount. Now we'll go to Prime Mount. What's happening with Mount this year? Do you think, because we were just saying, I think when you're gone, like, we prefer that number 8 position for Mount. And I think we were saying, like, he prefers him in that 4-3-3. Where do you see Mount this season? Where do you think he should be? Like, what's happening with him?
Mount is... I hear people saying it's because England and burnout and stuff, because, for example, like Harry Maguire's had burnout and stuff like that, and he went to the final with England. But it doesn't equate to what the Italian players have done as well, because Jorginho came back. I think...
Well, he came back ages ago. I don't know.
Well, he did Super Cup, but he came on, right? And I think he probably played our first game of the season or the game after or something. And he's been playing well. I know he burnt out a bit in the last 3 games, but again, he's also been rested now, so he's back firing. I think with Mount, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and he's just not on form, because he's continuously making wrong passes and just messing things up, killing the flow of our attack. And then he came on against Brentford, and he was killing the flow of how we were supposed to defend as well. And I'm giving him the benefit of doubt that he's off form. I give Mount a lot of stick, but I do like him, and I want him to have a really great Chelsea career. I know there's levels he can go up and reach to, but I don't know. Has he also maybe believed in his hype a bit too much as well? Does he need to be humbled a bit? Probably. But again, I can't say he's been our worst Chelsea attacker this season. I would have to give that to Havertz. Well, I give it to both.
Ziyech probably been our worst.
Yeah, but again, there's no Chelsea fans don't like Ziyech, so I can't. If it's some I can't necessarily give it to them. I have to give it to Mount and Havertz because of the hype and praise around them. Again, Timo Werner is still outperforming them in stats. And people can say Werner's still missing chances or whatever, but again, if you still have the stat to back it up, who cares? Because if that's the case, should we look at someone like Mohamed Salah and how many chances he misses per game? Or do people want to say Mohamed Salah has 25 goals this season? What exactly do we choose to focus on? The same with last season. Werner, people called him a flop, but he had 27 goal contributions. But someone like Havertz, I know he scored in the Champions League final and we were all gassed about it. But he did flop last season. Mount, who people want to say is the player of the season for us, I disagree. I think it's Mendy. But if people will say Mount was our player of the season, and yet he doesn't top our assists or goals because he has the most chances created, or not even big chances, just chances in general created, yet Werner still has more assists than you, and he's a flop, that's a problem. And I'll give the benefit of the doubt, which is people were saying, oh, Werner was missing the chances, that's fine. We now have a goal scorer in. I'm expecting you to have the outputs, the assists. And they're still not having that, Havertz and Mount, are the two guys. I'm assuming Tuchel wants to play with Lukaku, as of right now anyway, or as of the season that started. So they need to, I don't know, it's annoying. It's frustrating. They need to click into form eventually, because if we want to win the title, that's what they need to do. And if I don't want this to happen, but if Tuchel eventually gets sacked, because that's a typical Chelsea thing to do, it's going to be because we don't create enough and we don't score goals and we don't ultimately win the title or attain the Champions League. Because of those, not those two guys particularly, but because our attack is not clicking.
No, I agree. I think it is a majority from our attack, and I want to go back to that Mount point that you said on Mount against Brentford. As soon as Mount came off of Kovacic, our midfield we were horrendous. That's when Brentford started to come at us, started to get all those shots. But again, Mount plays in so many positions. He plays that, that weird role that none of us know what to call left mid, behind the strike. We don't even know what to call it, to be fair. But I think if we put him in the number 8 position, which we saw him play. Oh, what was I think it was Villa FA Cup.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure.
It was Villa in the league, I think, when we won 2-1, right? That's when Pulisic came off the bench and got the goal. I think that was the game. I think it was the first match post-lockdown that under Lampard. I think that was when he
this
played.
Season. I swear this season he played number 8. I don't know. I just remember because I remember talking about he played number 8 for 10, 20 minutes and then he was just absolutely astounding. So Zen, I don't know. I have to look back at that. But I think if he plays in that midfield, that number 8 role, he will get so much more out of it. And as we said, we say for the last 5-10 minutes, if our attacks start to get back and get that click in, we don't need to buy anyone. And they really got to fight for this position because we've seen now, as Amir said as well, about 15 minutes ago, we haven't seen our full team every week. Someone's been injured. So if we can get our full team back, Pulisic, Werner, Lukaku, now that's 3 attackers. That's probably our 3 best attackers when you really think about it. Are not available. Once they come back, we got to see what's happening because January is not that far away. As again Amir said as well, Ziyech may be leaving in January. We could possibly see someone else in January. We don't know. So they've really got to hurry up and prove something. But a majority of them have proven something that they are going to stay. But yeah, Amir, if you want to quickly touch upon the Mount situation before we go on to the preview, because again we just talked about it before.
Yeah. I think with Mount, I think Prime said it perfectly. I just think he's been out of form, and I think he was arguably one of the most consistent players in our squad last season, which is why he also won the Player of the Year. And I just don't think it's clicked for him this season. I think like you said, he does have that unique role in our system where he drops off into midfield and creates a 5-3-2 off the ball, but then in attack he can provide that support and sort of provide the five attackers up front, which all top teams use. I think this season he's probably burnt out, but he really needs to work hard and get back to his best, because we've become so used to being reliant on him, especially last season. Every time we needed something to happen, it was always Mount, and this season, although there's a lot of attacking talent who ideally should be taking things upon themselves, I don't think they have. So I still think that Mount, has to improve. Definitely, he has to improve, because we should hold him to the same standards as we hold everyone else, right? So there shouldn't be any, favoritism towards Mount, and but we know that it's there, right? And we because he's been putting in such consistent performances at such a young age, we've gotten used to it. But I think now we're finally seeing that, at the end of the day, Mount is still just another youngster who should work on improving his game and getting consistent, because we know what he can do, but he just has to work on being able to do that more consistently. And like you said, it's just that his final ball has been off, and that's frustrating, because he gets everything right. He gets the movement right. He gets the 1-2s right. But the final pass, right, to the attacker, the final, the cross, or the final cut back into the box, that's what's lacking for Mount, and that's what makes it so much more frustrating for us, because when you've done everything right, it's just that one simple final cut back or cross or a shot or whatever, and that's what's missing for Mount. And it will come as the season progresses. I mean, I do hope it comes as the season progresses, and hopefully he can establish himself as one of the best players in our attack, because we've grown to be so reliant on him, and now that he's not proving himself, it's sort of hurting us. So I think he's, as much as he's got to step up, I think the other players have got to step up and meet his level as well, and hopefully they all do, and we don't have to give them the Chelsea treatment, which is selling them just a couple of seasons after buying them and replacing them with someone else.
Yeah, like that's the problem, isn't it? Like Mount's not on form. Havertz, the big 72 or whatever, how much we spend on him signing, again, not on form. Ziyech, who's meant to be our experienced player and leader in our attack, is just dead right now. And Callum, he took his chance yesterday, and I'm happy. But in previous chances when he's hasn't really taken them. So when everyone's like out of it, it's tough. It was just one player. If it was just Mount not playing well, then that's not a problem, because you take him out and everyone else can just play, and that's fine, and that's not a hindrance to us. But when everyone else is bad, and this is what I don't want Chelsea fans to do. Don't focus on just saying, like, I don't want people to just attack Mount, because I can also pick other players that are just not playing bad. They're all equally as bad, if that makes sense right now. So it's not a thing where I'm picking on anyone. I'm picking on all of them. You're all not bad. What is wrong? Because like this, ideally this shouldn't be happening. Like, you don't see this in other teams where everyone's not playing well. It's usually one or two players, but you have other people to fill in, and it's not a problem. And it's like Sancho's not playing well, but it's not really a problem, because I know United aren't winning games, but it's not really a problem because you still have Ronaldo or Rashford or Pogba, Bruno. Like, it's not a problem for them. Mane didn't play well. It's not playing well, but again, you've got Salah, so it's not a problem. For us, it is a problem.
And a problem, but the difference is that we're still somehow top of the league, out of form. Imagine once we get in that form. Imagine.
With all these injuries, maybe Liverpool fans were complaining last season for no reason. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Obviously, going on to more games is the Norwich one tomorrow. Norwich Chelsea early game. It's not the first game. It's the second game. But we are top of the league by 1 point. Just looking now, and then Liverpool obviously just one behind us. City 2 under us. So this obviously it's a must win. There shouldn't be any surprises here. So we'll talk about the game and then we'll go into the lineup. So Prime, if you want to give your thoughts on the game coming up, what do we expect? What do you expect from the players, and what's the result you're expecting?
Another lesser side we should be brushing away with ease. I expect a pretty strong lineup, or as strong as it can be with our 2 injuries. I expect Cho to play, and I expect Havertz and Mount. I doubt he's going to put Ziyech in.
Yeah.
I expect a really strong lineup. I expect Jorginho to be back in there, and we've got this run of games where we're playing the bottom half of the table, and I think we have a few relegation sides in it. Let's start stamping a bit of authority and go on a bit of a run where we can start widening the gap, because I think Liverpool, City, and United, they're going to start facing tough teams. So if they start dropping points, like this weekend, if it ends up being a draw against Liverpool, United, or Liverpool lose, and then we win, all of a sudden that widens the gap a little bit more. And that's what we want before we've got to face Leicester and United in, I think, a month's time or so. Let's have a bit of a gap in there. So if we lose against Leicester or lose against United, we've got a bit of a cushion to protect ourselves.
Because we've got games now. We've got Norwich, Newcastle, and Burnley as the next Prem games. So that, as you said, that's some cushioning, like a little relegation battle there. And then we've got Leicester, United. So we need to get definitely 3, 6, 9 points from that. I don't think it's not debatable. Like we have to get 9 points from that. But we'll get into the lineups in a second. We'll get our squad bit of we do here. But Amir, thoughts on what are you expecting from this game and the result?
I think it has to be 3 points, and 3 very, very easy points. I'm expecting a performance like how we put in against Palace earlier on this season. I think that was a brilliant performance where we just did not allow them to have the ball whatsoever. And I can't remember them having, even a single chance in the entire game. That's how I expect us to perform tomorrow, really, because Norwich, I mean, look, I love the Norwich side, right? And they have a very good squad. I think the last time they were in the Premier League, they didn't have as good of a squad, which is why it was acceptable, sort of. But this season, I think they've pulled off some brilliant transfers, and they actually have a really good squad put together. And this season, Daniel Farke, I think he had to help deliver. So I don't think he will survive till the end of the season if Norwich are still in the relegation scrap. But as things stand, they're bottom of the league, winless, and I think all things considered, we definitely should be beating them very, very comfortably. I'm hoping for like a 3-0 or I think 4-0 2 games in a row is a bit of a stretch, so I won't set that target. But I think 2 or 3-0 should be a target at the very least, and we have to win our next 3 games. Like Prime also said, I think it's very important for us to build that cushion, because from the beginning of the season up until now, we've had some pretty tough games, right? We've already faced I don't know if you can call it tough, but we've faced Arsenal and Spurs, and then we've also faced City and Liverpool. So we've faced a lot of top quality sides, and we're still on top of the table, unlike Liverpool, who are yet to beat a team in the top half of the table. I think all the teams that they've beaten are in the bottom half, so they're going to start having some tough games now, and I think we have to capitalize on that. I think they definitely can be dropping points here and there, and so are Man City. I think Man City are playing away to Brighton this season, who started off the season really well. So they're all going to have some tough fixtures. United as well, they have a horrible set of fixtures upcoming. So I think we have to make the most of this opportunity and secure ourselves in the top, because we're definitely going to be dropping points in the festive season in December and January as well, when Mendy goes to AFCON. We have 3 very, very difficult games for Kepa to come in and fill his shoes. So I think we're going to have to build as much of a gap as we can. And these are games that we 100% should be winning the next 3 games, and comfortably as well.
Yeah, definitely. We need big clean sheets, wins, and it's again, Prime said, cushioning for our upcoming games, which are going to be hard. That end of November period is going to be some pretty fun games to watch, but also hard. But yeah, we'll get into the lineup now. We'll create our predicted lineup for Norwich City on the weekend. So obviously we're in our 3-4-3 kind of formation. Yeah, actually I should. Wait, is this 20? Yeah, it's 2022. Okay, yeah. So we'll start in the keeper role. Now this one gonna be pretty. I want to say pretty predictable because we possibly could see Kepa, but do we see Mendy or do we see Kepa for this one?
I think it's got to
Sorry,
be
yeah, I was gonna
Mendy.
say. Sorry, I was gonna say, yeah, Amir. So go on.
Yeah, it's got to be Mendy. I think I'm pretty sure Prime agrees too.
Yeah, it is. I thought that if even though I wanted Mendy to play against Malmo, I thought, knowing what Tuchel is like, Malmo would be the sort of game where he put Kepa in. But because we needed to win it in terms of how we started the Champions League group, and Mendy was the perfect choice. So I think Mendy will also play this game, and then in the cup, we'll see Kepa play.
I really thought Kepa was against Malmo. Like they haven't scored at all in general. I thought we could at least put Kepa in for that, but definitely in for Malmo. I mean, Mendy for this one because against Premier League, obviously back in the Premier League, this is a must win as well. But left centre back, I mean, I think we all know who's going right there. I think Rudiger comes back in and he's back. He's fit now. He proved himself in the last game that he's fully back to play, and I think he definitely starts this game. But thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think Rudiger's probably, he was injured against Brentford, so Sarr came in, put in a decent shift. Wasn't, I mean, he was great. I think he did break some records in terms of interceptions and clearances in a game for Chelsea in the Premier League this season. So he had a pretty decent game. But I think, when Rudiger's back, you play Rudiger. And you could see against Malmo that he was definitely back and eager to play. So, yeah, I think it's a no-brainer sticking him in.
Prime, about you?
Yeah, Rudiger. I think Rudiger would play against Malmo. I thought because he was out for the little niggle or whatever that he had. I thought he'd be rested and then come play this game. But if he's still fit, Play him.
Exactly. Yeah. Whenever he's fit, 100% has to be played. But what about this middle role? Now I think Thiago should be back as well. So Thiago and really even Chalobah could play. But who plays this central role now?
I think it's tricky. I really want to say Thiago Silva, but at the same time, I think Thiago Silva played midweek, right? He played against Malmo, which was a little bit surprising. I didn't think he would be risked in that game, but I don't know. If you play him there, then you've got to play Christensen too, right? You can't bench Christensen, so it's a really tricky situation. So I mean, if Thiago Silva is fit enough to play this one, then I absolutely wouldn't mind him. But just because we have to treat him like he's made of glass at the age of 37, and we just have to play him for the important fixtures, right? So I'm leaning towards Christensen, but I'll let Prime decide who he wants to stick in the center of the back three there.
Yeah, I think next week is Southampton in the cup, and then Newcastle. Play Silva this game, and then he rests against Southampton in the cup. Because again, I didn't expect him to play against Malmo, but he did, so he should still be able to play this. Because we weren't tested defensively, so Silva didn't have to do anything, so he should still be able to play this game against Norwich. They're not going to pose a threat, even in the counter attack. I don't think they're that great, so they have nothing to pose a threat to us. So Silva playing shouldn't be an issue. So yeah, he can play this game. If needs be, he can be taken off in the 70th minute or something. But yeah, he can play this game.
Yeah, I mean, we do say we keep him for the big games, but we've got really no big games coming up, and he does need to obviously stay fit on the pitch. But this right-hand side, I think this right-hand side is looking like Christensen, Chalobah, and Azpilicueta. Who plays in this role here?
I mean, look, I want Reece James to start this one. So I want that right wing back to be Reece James. But at the same time, I don't think Azpilicueta is going to get benched. So if we do say Azpilicueta here in the right centre back position, then that means Christensen's not going to play. But if we play Christensen here, then it seems like Azpilicueta will play the right wing back and Reece James won't play. So I mean, as harsh as it sounds, I think Azpilicueta there, because I really want to see Reece James play in the right wing back position. But I'll let Prime decide, because I mean, we can't bench Christensen with the form that he's in, can we?
Yeah.
I'd play Christensen right centre back.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, because Reece James has been out a bit lately. with like the red card and his injury, and Aspie's had to play a lot. So I think rest him for this game. Maybe Aspie plays against Southampton midweek, maybe. But I think there's no need for Aspie to play this game. I think Christensen and probably Reece James right wing back.
Yep, I think fair enough.
I could possibly see this and then Aspie here because I don't think we would rest Christensen after that goal and that form he's been in. But at the same time, we won't rest Aspie. But then at the same time, we're not going to rest Silva. So there's so many factors to consider here. But it's what happens for this game. If they don't play this game, then they'll play that Southampton game. But yeah, going into that.
Unless well, like against Brentford, our back three was like Chalobah and Sarr played with Christensen. Like I'm assuming against Southampton that's going to happen as well. That's why I'm saying Silva plays this game so he doesn't have to play midweek. Unless Silva doesn't play, and then midweek Silva plays with Chalobah and Sarr, which would be interesting. But I'm assuming you'd want to keep some sort of continuity with them. That's why you would play Christensen with those two again. But that's going off my assumption, so I don't know.
I don't know, don't you see from possibly the Brentford game that we saw Sarr, Christensen, Chalobah, that we can start playing Sarr often in like games like Norwich. Like Norwich, I think they've only scored 1 or 2 goals this year. I don't know. I think they've scored a couple. I think one was into Arsenal. But besides that, can we start playing Chalobah? Can we start playing Sarr in these games where we can rest maybe Silva and maybe like rest Silva for probably 3 weeks until we play possibly Malmo in the next Champions League or Newcastle? Like, can we start risking to play Sarr and all our youngsters in the centre back?
We should. Like, I know Tuchel likes to rotate, and it's fine rotating with our strongest players. And I like Sarr. He played well against Brentford, even when the pressure was put on us near the end. But I don't want to start rotating him in a lot in games that matter. Like again, against Southampton, he's good enough to be able to beat Southampton because I don't think they pose. I know they've got Armstrong and Che Adams, but I don't think they're that good that Sarr can't play against them. If he can do it against Ivan Toney, he can do it against them. Maybe against Norwich, you could say put him in. But I'm talking about us going on a bit of a run here. So let's do it with our strongest players and build up this confidence. So I personally wouldn't put Sarr in. But I understand what you're saying, but I don't know. I personally wouldn't put Sarr. Like, don't mesh things up a bit or don't ruin things when they're working well. Because if you put Sarr in and we lose, whether or not it's his fault or not, but if we lose, he's going to be someone they're going to scapegoat. Yeah, because this is what Chelsea fans are like. So,
and I want to bring the point to me now about Chalobah. Like, can we see? Because I really thought Sarr and Chalobah would have started Malmo. To be fair, like, is this now? Prime spoke about Sarr in this, but what about Chalobah? I mean, will we see Chalobah possibly in this game like these?
We could because Chalobah's actually been putting in some excellent performances this season. So I was actually really shocked that he didn't play against Malmo. I thought Rudiger coming back was all right because he came back from injury and he needed that bit of he needed to gain a bit of match fitness before the next one because he missed Germany's last game as well and then missed the first game of ours as well. After the international break against Brentford. So I thought, fair enough, he, might need those minutes. But I was actually really surprised with Silva. And I know that Silva also missed the game against Brentford, but, considering his age and just how fragile he looks, every time he goes down, I sort of feel like, oh my God, I hope he's okay type. So I was really surprised that he played. I would have thought Christensen starts down the middle and Chalobah on the right against Malmo. That's what I would have thought, but he didn't. So, fair enough, he put out a strong lineup and got a strong result out of the game. But let's see as the season progresses, especially the Southampton and Carabao Cup game. I don't think we're going to risk any of our first team players in that one. So I think, Chalobah, Saab definitely going to start that one. And let's see how they perform there. But I think they're more than capable of stepping in as and when required. But like Prime said, right? I mean, as long as it's working, don't mess it up. But if needs be, and if they have to step in like they had to against Brentford, then I think they're more than capable of doing a job, which I'm fine with.
Yeah. I mean, I think if they start now, I don't think we should really be complaining about that. But
Exactly.
we'll go to the right wing back position now. Now we put Christensen there. So, I mean, who would you put in this right wing back position?
I really want to say Reece James, but for some reason Tuchel doesn't bench Aspie, so I wouldn't be surprised if Aspie plays there. But I really, really want to say James. I don't know what Prime thinks though.
Yeah, I'd play James. Like, I think people need to take this Malmo game with like a bit of logic. Like, I understand saying we probably saying that we thought Chalobah would have played or something, or Sarr. I understand that, but looking at the fact of we lost against Juventus and we struggled against Zenit, it made sense just playing a strong team and getting through the game without any problems. Because if we'd rotated again and struggled, even if we'd got the win, but we'd still struggled, then it starts to become a bit of a problem, and we need to close out our final 3 Champions League games on a high, which interferes with us playing these lesser sides, which we should be winning anyways. But then slip-ups start to happen here and there when they shouldn't. Then all of a sudden we're 3rd in the league and we've maybe finished 2nd in our Champions League group. It can cause a bit of a knock-on effect, I think. So yeah, I don't know. Again, maybe that's just me even being pessimistic. I don't know. Because I'm kind of that sort of person, to be fair. But I'm rambling. Sorry. Reece James definitely should start. Sorry, I tend to ramble a bit. Reece James should definitely start.
No, that's fine.
We love it, man. We love it.
Yeah, but I think this is time for Reece James to come back in here. But these 2 midfielders, I mean, this is another tricky one here. So start with the right side. We'll go Prime. What do you think about this right side midfielder?
Ballon d'Or winner Jorginho plays. Jorginho with Kante, which is harsh because I think Ruben should play as well. So unless Ruben plays as part of the forward line, which he's not going to, those are the 2 that I would play. But I do want to see Ruben with Jorginho because I don't want Ruben to be given that deeper sort of role. I want him to have that license to push and drive with the ball without fear of us getting countered attack or losing the midfield battle.
Yeah, I mean, Kante, Jorginho. I mean, I could probably see that happening. But Amir, what about you?
I mean, I was like the polar opposite of what Prime just said. I was thinking maybe Kovacic and Ruben get the start for this one. That would be an interesting one. Didn't they play together against who was it? Who we played at the Bridge earlier?
Villa.
Yeah, no, I think Villa was Saul, right? It was Saul and
was it the second time we played Villa? I think.
I'm not sure, but one of the games I think Ruben and Kovacic played together, and the last game it was all 3, right, against Brentford, and I don't want to see the 3 in midfield again. I want to see 3 in attack and 2 in midfield. So I don't know, but yeah, I think Jorginho should play, especially how well he played midweek. I think he deserves the start. So I wouldn't mind Jorginho and Loftus-Cheek either, but Kovacic didn't play midweek, did he? I don't think he did, right? So
against Malmo.
Against Malmo, so. I would think Kovacic would be one of the 2 players, but I'm open to putting whoever Prime thinks should be the other. But I think Kovacic is definitely going to start this one.
Kovacic and Ruben. To be fair, I understand that. I understand. The thing is, it's the fact of we have Southampton midweek, so I'm thinking of that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
As well. That's the only thing. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
look,
it would make sense to play Jorginho this and rest him against Southampton, though.
yeah,
I can see where you're coming from. Yeah.
but not even that. We've got so much quality that like I'm not arguing what you're saying. Like if that was if Tuchel played that, I wouldn't complain. Like we've got so much quality in our midfield that it's sort of a thing where I'm like, yeah, play it. It's not like I'm not trying to argue with you because like I don't see that as being wrong per se. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
We'll just let Matt decide.
Yeah.
I think we've both maxed out and gone for different options, so we're gonna let Matt decide who he wants to put in there, and we're gonna be okay with.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I would definitely go with Jorginho in there. I mean, I think he has to play there. But what about possibly Jorginho and Loftus? See, I don't even know now. Now it's Jorginho and someone. I don't think Kante plays. I think it'll be Kovacic or Loftus, one of them.
I think Kovacic would start and probably Loftus-Cheek off the bench. I think we can play it safe.
I think we'll go with Kovacic here, and then because then I do think that one of these will come off for Loftus or someone.
Kante as well, I think, depending on the situation.
But we'll go to our left wing back. I think we all have the same person.
Has to be Chilwell, I think. Probably the only position where none of us are gonna even talk about it. I think it has to be Chilwell.
We're not Alonso? No,
nah,
really?
He can play next week. He can play that next
No, I'm joking. Actually, no. To be,
he's gonna
play against us. Can he?
He can because Livramento is a permanent transfer. He's not on loan.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, oh yeah, and they also have Max Aarons. I'd play. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, because I'm thinking that Livramento will beat Alonso midweek, but also Max Aarons at the weekend will also beat Alonso. So it doesn't matter either way. We'll lose. So play Chilwell.
Yeah, I think Chilwell now. Alonso's going to play next week, to be fair, because we'll play our second team. So, I think Alonso's a fantastic backup, so he can definitely play that one. But our left midfielder here, who plays on this one?
It has to be Hudson-Odoi. I think the way that he played, especially midweek, it just simply has to be Hudson-Odoi, in my opinion, at least.
Fine with you.
Yeah. I think again, people with a pinch of salt, it was only just Malmo. Like I'm seeing people drop compilations and stuff like that, and I'm just like, he didn't do it in a Champions League final. This was Malmo, but again, he does deserve to play. Like if he doesn't start, I'm one who usually says, Callum, take your chances and you'll get more regular game time and stuff. He's taken his chance against Malmo, and also with the fact we have 2 injuries in our forward line, there's no excuse not to play him either. It's not like I can say, oh well, this or that, or Werner has, there's no excuses now. He does need to be given the game time. Just play him. Like there's no reason not to.
Yeah. I think it's. I mean, who else is there really to play then? It's if we mount Ziyech, so he does have to play.
And even Pulisic. Even if Pulisic is fit, I still wouldn't.
The press conference is going on right now, so we might be getting some updates probably. But yeah, it should still be Hudson-Odoi. Yeah, I don't think Pulisic should be thrown into the starting lineup straight away. Probably a couple of sub appearances before he's ready to make start consistently. I mean, imagine if we rush him back and he gets injured again. That would just be awful.
Exactly. So Pulisic slowly but surely eased into the team because Tuchel is smart. He's not going to throw him in. So
yeah, exactly. So I think it should be Hudson-Odoi on the left probably, and Havertz through the center. I'd say. I don't know about both of you guys, but Havertz through the center would be the pick for me. I think.
To play there. Someone else that can play there. No, I'd be unfortunate, but he's the only player, so he'll have to play there definitely.
False 9 Havertz,
yeah, in a striker role. But I'm just looking now if anything about Pulisic, but Pulisic been absolutely like out of the news from Tuchel's voice. But what about this right hand side? What are we saying here?
Ooh, I mean, who else is there really? It's just Ziyech and Mount in it, and
Yeah.
I can't see Ziyech playing this one. I think maybe give him the Southampton one just for vibes, but I don't see Ziyech starting. He's
That's
been
rude.
playing so bad. Like I know how good he can be because he was so good last season, right? Especially at Lamb. I remember that stretch of games, Sheffield United, Burnley, and those games. He was actually so good, but this season he started off the season well, to be fair to him, even the preseason games, and then he scored against Villarreal in the Super Cup as well. And that injury, I think that just messed him up a little bit, unfortunately.
Bro. Last season, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but last season when you said he played well, that was 3 games. And then
I mean,
you said, and then he started off the season well. That was only in the Super Cup for 30 minutes. Like, I don't. This guy is like.
I mean, if he was 21, it was fine, but he's 27, right? You can't be putting in performances like that. Exactly. Yeah.
If Willian was doing what Ziyech is doing, no, I'm sorry. No excuses for him. I'm sorry. There's got to be someone in the under 21s that can come up and do a job instead of Ziyech. I'm sorry, but no.
It's the one thing as well. He had a headache as well. It's just like, why? Lose the game. I don't think he was even on the. Was it the bench for last game?
He was on the bench against Malmo, I think.
He was. Yeah. I think, but I mean, when you think about it, we have to take off an attacker for rest this game, so he'll definitely be coming on. But who else can we bring on? We'll have to probably bring someone from the academy just in case.
Ruben plays in that forward line.
We could definitely see that. We could see that.
Yeah, I can definitely see Loftus-Cheek coming on for one of the attackers. Definitely, yeah.
Or do something I've always wanted to see: play Alonso as a striker. I've always wanted to just play him against Southampton, even if we lose. I don't care. Let's do it.
Yeah, just playing there. That'll be funny as to see. No, but I think this is the lineup that we put. This is very realistic. I mean, the only we can say probably the midfield, who will play in the midfield, maybe even the back line a bit there. But obviously, it's Duke. We're never gonna. We could probably see Bettinelli on 4 we know. But I don't think that man's ever gonna play. But yeah, no, this is a lineup for Norwich. I mean, we'll go around for the final scores. I'm saying a 2-0. I don't think we'll get that much because obviously our attack. I feel we'll be a bit slow, but I think obviously we'll get the job done. What about you?
Yeah, I think it should be 2-0. I'm going to go 3-0 for this one actually, because I think they do tend to play with the high line, and for some reason Farke thinks that his Norwich side is prime Bayern, and he plays with high line fluid attacking football, and someone's got to tell him that, fam, you're managing Norwich at the moment. But I think he won't. He never shuts up shop, as they call it. So I would be very surprised if he turns up to Stamford Bridge and parks the bus. So I think I'm going to go with the 3-0 when I don't see us conceding in this one. Probably not. Ideally, we shouldn't against the worst side in the league, and they're gonna play into our hands. I think this would have been the perfect game for Werner to come in, and I think he would have scored like a brace easily. So it's unfortunate that he's got his injury right before we play Norwich. But I think it should be a comfortable 3-0 win for me.
Yeah, Prime, about you?
Like Norwich in the past few games have been playing a back 5.
Have they?
Yeah, like. So, because I don't know, I'm assuming because they've been conceding so much, they're trying to shut up shop. It's not necessarily working per se, but yeah.
I mean, they did keep a clean sheet against Brighton, to be fair to them. So,
yeah, but I don't.
And Burnley.
Yeah.
But Burnley, come on.
Are you comparing us? Are you comparing us to Brighton and Burnley? Really? This is what we're doing because we don't have Lukaku. But yeah, I don't know. Like. I want to say what I said against Malmo. We should win 3 or 4-0, but it's Chelsea, so we'll probably struggle with a 2-0 win.
Yeah, charity FC against Norwich.
Exactly.
I mean, Farke and Tuchel are good friends as well, so they might as well say gift him a couple of points.
Yeah,
no,
or that might
let's
work the
hope.
other way around, and Tuchel might give him a couple of points.
Yeah, let's not hope that happens. Let's not hope he gives him as a present. But there is updates as well from Nisa Cancelo saying that Lukaku, obviously, Enwoy and Pulisic are all out for Norwich, and Ziyech, he still has that shoulder injury and hasn't allowed him to feel totally free. It's something which limits in his movement and freedom to turn and accelerate. This is why I might as well just take the surgery now if he's not gonna,
Yeah.
because if he's limited against turning and accelerating, that's what a winger does. They turn and accelerate. So if he can't do that, then what's he in the team for? But man, nothing in. No, yeah, no, that's pretty much it from the injury list. So, but they'll really expect it. So we have to see Pulisic come back. So, like, if he's fit, Southampton, just play him. Southampton, I don't like. Who cares? Literally, just play him. Ziyech, just play him. We've got to start playing a third team against Southampton there to get them going. But yeah, this is a lineup for Norwich, and yeah, we'll wrap up the stream here as well. So yeah, Prime, any final guests if you want to shout your channel as well?
Yeah, thank you, both of you guys, for having me on. I really enjoyed it. Great stream, and it's a great channel as well, guys. Anyone new here that's watching, like and subscribe. Yeah, but I'm whether you guys may know or not, I'm part of the Football Terrace. So I'll probably be on there. When are we playing? Saturday for a match reaction against Norwich. I'm also part of the First XI. We're on the road to 1K, so we're trying to push. Hopefully by the end of this year, if we can. So it'd be great if you guys could subscribe. This is that, isn't it? Yeah, that is our Twitter account, and you can just type in the First XI on YouTube, and it'll definitely come up. And that is my Twitter as well. Follow me there, and anything that I'm doing, because I tweet like a lot. So anything that I'm doing, you'll know about, and just thank you guys for having me on. I'm bad at these outros, but yeah, thank you both for having me on. Hopefully, I get to come back on sometime.
Of course, yeah. Obviously, it was a good show today, and obviously a massive win for Chelsea. So we're all happy to talk about that, and then obviously an easy game happening. So we should be expecting another fun game there. But yeah, Mia as well. For now, wrap it up to you.
I think it was a great stream. I think probably first time I'm talking with Prime per se, so it was a very good stream. I think we got on each other very well, have similar views, I would say, sort of similar views, and it was a fun stream. I think I didn't even realize that it's been so much over an hour as well. I thought we'd be nearing about an hour right now. So yeah, it's always fun to talk Chelsea, but when it's with someone who matches with your vibe per se, I think if that's what you want to call it, it makes it that much more fun. So yeah, I think I had a great time, and do subscribe to his YouTube, guys. Hopefully you do reach the 1K mark really soon, and hopefully you guys can subscribe to our channel too if you enjoyed our content today. And that's about it. I think Matt will finish it off finally and play the intro that one more time.
Yeah, guys. So yeah, that's it for us. We'll probably be back for the watch along there. If not, we'll have a review next Monday or Tuesday. But we'll catch you guys next time. See you later.